What's going on, guys? This is Draco in here, and usually I do this after the Monday night game, but I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it tonight or I'm going to be able to watch it tonight, so I'm doing it now instead. This is the Week 17 predictions for the NFL, and a lot of teams have to win this game this week or they're out of the playoffs. So let's see how the result. Let's see how the results pan out in my predictions. First up, we got the Thursday night game. It's the Cowboys taking on the Titans. This, I think, will be an easy Cowboys victory. The Cowboys just beat the Eagles, and the Titans have honestly looked like one of the worst teams in the league these past few weeks. I mean, they just lost to the Texans. So, yeah, there is no hope for Tennessee unless Derrick Henry just goes off these last few weeks, but I don't see them winning the division or this game. Next up, we got the Steelers versus the Ravens. This is a weird game, but I think I'm going to go with the Ravens for this one. The Steelers have been on a hot streak as of late, but they're going up against the Ravens, who have already clinched a playoff spot. So I think that Baltimore will get the home win, and the Steelers will probably be eliminated from playoff contention from this. Next up, we got the Browns taking on the Commanders. I'm going to go with the Commanders for this one. The Commanders are fighting for their playoff lives right now, and they're going into a home game against the Browns. So, yeah, the Commanders, they got to go all out here, and they shouldn't have a problem with that, especially since they're playing the Browns. Next up, we got the Panthers versus the Buccaneers. This is a must-win game for Carolina because if they lose this game, Tampa Bay clinches the division. But I believe that they pull it off. I think that Carolina, they've been really good these past few weeks. I know they lost to the Steelers, but that's been their only loss for a while now. So, they beat the Lions, who are on a hot streak. And I believe that they can beat the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers barely beat the Cardinals. Next up, we got the Broncos taking on the Chiefs. The Broncos season's pretty much over at this point, so I don't see them beating the Chiefs. And I'm pretty sure this one's at Arrowhead. So, yeah, the Chiefs, they'll probably win 58-3. Next up, we got the Bears taking on the Lions. The Bears are already out of the playoffs as well, so I don't think that they're going to be able to win this game against the Lions. And honestly, I think the Bears at this point, you should just try to go for the number 1 overall pick, since you're still able to get it at this point. Just letting you know. But yeah, the Lions win this game and keep their playoff hopes alive. Next up, we got the Jags taking on the Texans. I believe that the Jags will win this game because right now they're tied with the Titans for the division lead, and they shouldn't have any problem beating the Texans. But I mean, the Titans lost to the Texans. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Colts taking on the Giants. I believe the Giants clinch a playoff spot if they win this week, so I think that they are going to win because they're fighting for a playoff spot and they're playing one of the worst teams in the league at home, so they shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. Next up, we got the Saints taking on the Eagles. Also a must-win game for the Saints, but they're playing one of the best teams in the league, and I don't think that they're going to be able to get out of this one as easily as if they were playing the Buccaneers. But I mean, they did get swept by the Buccaneers this season. But anyway, they will lose to the Eagles in this game. Next up, we got the Falcons versus the Cardinals. This is probably the tank bowl of the week, but I'm going to go with Atlanta just because they're playing at home. Neither one of these teams are even in the playoffs anymore. So, Atlanta pulls this off, mainly just because they're at home. likely going against a third-string quarterback. This will also be Desmond Ritter's first win, too, so that's something. Next up, we got the Patriots taking on the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been on a slump, and honestly, the Patriots have as well. But I think the slump for the Dolphins ends here. I think that they pretty much clinch a playoff spot and eliminate the Patriots in the same week. So yeah, Miami gets the dub. Next up, we got the Jets taking on the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Jets for this one. Mike White just got cleared to play, and he's their best quarterback out of their entire draft room right now. Out of their entire quarterback room right now. So I think that he's going to be able to beat the Seahawks, who honestly have collapsed these past few games. They look like they're not going to make the playoffs after all. Next up, we got the Vikings taking on the Packers. The Packers looking to make the playoffs out of nowhere. They're going into a game against the Vikings at home, and honestly, I have them pulling it off. I have them pulling it off and getting their win against the Vikings and pulling off the upset and keeping their playoff hopes alive. That was not a well-constructed sentence, but whatever. Next up, we got the 49ers taking on the Raiders. I think that the Raiders officially get eliminated from playoff contention if they're not already by tonight, because if the Chargers win, they're out. But if the Chargers don't win tonight, the 49ers will eliminate them next week, because the 49ers are a way better team than the Raiders. Next up, we got the Rams taking on the Chargers. This will be an easy Chargers victory. The Rams, yeah, they did just put up 51 points, but it was against the Broncos, so that's not really saying much. And the Chargers will pull away with the win and basically clinch a playoff spot. So, good for them. And finally, the Monday night game of Week 17. It's the Bills taking on the Bengals. And I've got an upset here. Bengals win this game, take down the currently number 1 seeded Bills. And Cincinnati shows everybody just how great of a team they can be. So anyway, that is going to do it for my Week 17 predictions, and that will basically set the stage for the playoffs for a bunch of teams. A lot of teams are going to clinch a playoff spot. A lot of teams are going to be eliminated, and the fight for the number 1 overall pick between the Bears and the Texans rages on. So let me know what your predictions are, and let's see how these ones pan out. I will see you guys in the next one.